What's up, nostalgic crew? Welcome to Let's Run It Back, and welcome to part 2 of our look at forgotten but nostalgic cartoons. If you caught part 1, then you know we've already revisited 10 animated classics that don't get talked about nearly enough. But we're not done yet. There are still a lot more shows that made childhood a little weirder, a little funnier, and a lot more memorable. From gothic vampire ducks to skateboarding dinosaurs, this list has some of the boldest and most offbeat cartoons that ever aired. So let's keep the momentum going and jump into part 2 of forgotten but nostalgic cartoons. 1. Grimm's Fairy Tale Classics. Grimm's Fairy Tale Classics was a Japanese anime-style adaptation of classic fairy tales like Cinderella, Hansel and Gretel, and The Frog Prince. It aired on Nickelodeon and brought these old stories to life with gorgeous animation and a darker, more faithful tone compared to the more sanitized versions kids were used to. This show didn't shy away from the eerie or bittersweet endings that many fairy tales originally had. What set this series apart was how seriously it treated its source material. It didn't talk down to kids and often introduced them to the darker sides of folklore, showing that not every story ends in a neat little bow. For many, this was their first taste of international animation styles and more mature storytelling. It might be forgotten by many, but it left a mark on the kids who grew up watching it.
It's high adventure with the Pirates of Dark Water.
2. Pirates of Dark Water. The Pirates of Dark Water was a bold fantasy adventure that first aired in 1991. Created by David Kirshner and produced by Hanna-Barbera, it followed Ren, the son of King Primus, as he sailed the alien world of Mer aboard the Wraith. His goal? To find the 13 treasures of Rule and stop a dark, sentient liquid called Dark Water from consuming the seas. Ren's crew included Tula, a powerful ecomancer, Eos, a gruff but loyal pirate, and Niddler, a monkey bird with a big appetite. Their main rival was the fearsome Bloth, captain of the Maelstrom, who wanted the treasures for his own dark ambitions. With serious storytelling, unique characters, and some of Hanna-Barbera's best animation, this show felt more like a fantasy saga than a typical cartoon. Sadly, it ended before the quest was complete, leaving fans to imagine the rest. 3. Adventures of the Little Koala. This gentle anime series aired on Nickelodeon and focused on a little koala named Roo-Bear and his forest friends in a fictional town in Australia. The show was soft-spoken and kind-hearted, emphasizing friendship, cooperation, and everyday adventures like helping a friend or building a treehouse. Adventures of the Little Koala had a warm, calming tone that made it ideal for younger viewers, and the theme song alone brings a wave of nostalgia. It's the kind of show you probably didn't think much about at the time. But if you grew up watching Nick Jr. in the late 80s or early 90s, it definitely lives rent-free in your memory.
If you're looking for some fun, you can always count upon the one they call
Duckula.
4. Count Duckula. Count Duckula was a spin-off of Danger Mouse and followed a vegetarian vampire duck who lived in a haunted castle with his dim-witted but loyal butler and a very creepy nanny. It was spooky, funny, and British in the best way, filled with dry humor and silly horror tropes. While its premise was bizarre, the charm of Count Duckula was in how it blended comedy and gothic horror. It was spooky enough to feel edgy but never too scary. The animation had that signature 80s UK style, and the show had a cult following that still fondly remembers it for its weirdness and wit.
Wait till your father gets home. See what I mean? Wait till your father gets home.
5. Wait Till Your Father Gets Home. One of the earliest examples of an animated sitcom aimed at adults, Wait Till Your Father Gets Home predated shows like The Simpsons and Family Guy. Airing in the early 70s with reruns on Cartoon Network during late nights in the 90s, it followed a conservative dad trying to manage life with his liberal kids and a changing society. It tackled real social issues while still delivering family comedy. The animation was minimal, but the writing was surprisingly sharp for its time. While it's mostly forgotten today, It helped pave the way for modern animated sitcoms. Watching it now is like seeing the foundation for what adult animation would later become, even if it's a little rough around the edges. Six, Fox's Peter Pan and the Pirates. This darker, more adventurous version of Peter Pan aired on Fox Kids and focused heavily on the ongoing battle between Peter and Captain Hook. The animation was moody and dramatic, and Tim Curry gave an unforgettable performance as Hook. It felt like a more serious take on Neverland, trading Disney whimsy for intense swashbuckling. The show had more serialized elements than most cartoons of its time, with real consequences and deeper stories. It even explored themes like mortality and growing up in ways that made it resonate with older kids. It's an underrated version of the Pan mythos and deserves a lot more love than it gets. Seven, The Real Adventures of Jonny Quest. This 90s reboot of the classic Jonny Quest updated the action with early CGI sequences and new characters like Jesse Bannon. It followed Johnny, Haji, Race, and Dr. Quest as they took on dangerous missions around the world and even in virtual reality. The blend of science fiction, adventure, and family dynamics made it feel like a Saturday morning action movie. While the CGI parts haven't aged well, The Real Adventures was ambitious in ways most cartoons weren't. It tried to evolve the franchise into something more modern while still keeping the mystery and globe-trotting danger alive. It's one of those shows where even the theme song hit hard, and fans still remember it for daring to be bold.
Biggest fan, Pepper Ann. Ooh, hot buck. Catch her if you can, Pepper Ann.
8. Pepper Ann. Pepper Ann was one of Disney's first shows to center around a quirky, awkward middle school girl dealing with life's ups and downs. Long before shows like Braceface or Lizzie McGuire, Pepper Ann tackled identity, puberty, popularity, and family drama with humor and heart. She wasn't perfect, but she was always relatable. The show was stylish and fast-paced, with a lot of imaginative cutaways and dream sequences that kept things visually interesting. While it didn't get as much love as Recess or Doug, it was quietly revolutionary for showing a female lead being smart, weird, insecure, and awesome all at once. She really was like one in a million. 9. Spooktacular New Adventures of Casper. This cartoon version of Casper the Friendly Ghost aired in the mid-90s and blended elements from the 1995 movie with new stories. It had a slapstick Looney Tunes feel and gave more spotlight to Casper's ghostly uncles, the Ghostly Trio, who were way more chaotic here than in any other version. The show was wackier and louder than past Casper stories, but it also had its sweet moments. It found a decent balance between hijinks and heart, and it gave 90s kids a more modern, energetic take on the friendly ghost. It may not be the definitive version of Casper, but it's one that many remember fondly. 10. Denver the Last Dinosaur. Denver the Last Dinosaur gave us a totally radical concept, a skateboarding, guitar-playing dinosaur who hung out with a group of California teens. First airing in 1988, the show followed Denver as he adjusted to the modern world, all while promoting messages about friendship, fun, and environmental awareness. With his mohawk, sunglasses, and laid-back attitude, Denver was the ultimate dino bro, and that theme song, still an all-time banger. Though it faded from mainstream attention for years, Denver actually got a reboot in 2018 with updated animation and a fresh modern setting. But for many fans, the original remains the most iconic version, packed with 80s charm and a vibe you just can't recreate. It's cheesy in the best way, and for anyone who grew up watching it, Denver really was your friend and a whole lot more. And there it is, Part 2 complete, with a look at 10 more cartoons that deserve a serious nostalgic shout-out. Whether you were vibing with Count Duckula, rocking out with Denver the Last Dinosaur, or diving into the real adventures of Jonny Quest, These shows shaped the background noise of our childhood in ways we'll never forget. Before we wrap up, I want to give a huge shout out to our Throwback Influencer tier members, Peace by Chaos, Thicula, iCritic, Mary Jarrell, and Jeremy Bowen. Your support means the world, and I truly appreciate you being part of the Let's Run It Back community. A massive thank you to all the other members as well. Your support helps keep the nostalgia alive and lets me keep making these videos. As a reminder, members get access to videos at least one day early, so if you want to see content before anyone else, consider joining. And if you want another way to support the channel, you can check out the merch store, grab some nostalgic gear, and rep Let's Run It Back in style. Every bit of support helps, and I couldn't do this without y'all. If you haven't seen part 1, be sure to check it out after this, and let me know in the comments which of these forgotten shows was your favorite, or which I should have added. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next trip down memory lane. This is Let's Run It Back, and until next time, keep the nostalgia alive.